There it goes. Okay. 10-minute timer set.
Got it.
Welcome.
Hello.
Like I'm welcoming people to your house.
Welcome to the video.
Welcome to the video.
Welcome to our video.
We don't know. By the way, the lens is over there. If you look here, people will think that you're like looking at something like way over there. But if you look,
I was planning on looking at you or my cappuccino most of the time.
Yep. This is why we're wearing blankets.
We had fake summer for like a week. And so we're like, hey, it's warm out, so we got iced drinks, but it's like real temperature now, so we're...
Real temperature? In Canada, we have fake temperatures and also real temperatures.
We do. And so now we need blankets to go with our ice traps.
Yes, exactly.
Also, this is a completely unplanned video, and therefore I literally set us a timer so we don't ramble for too long.
We already wasted a whole minute of it.
We did. Introducing what's going on. That's not a waste.
I'm Natasha.
I'm Michelle.
It's pronounced Natasha. And pronounced Michelle. And we are writers.
Yep.
We're authors, actually. We should call ourselves authors. Because we're published. That's the big difference.
Right. Oh, really?
That's the difference, yeah. If you're published, you're an author.
Yeah, we're authors.
But yeah, you're right.
And
we are writers.
So we do write.
And we're right, so we're writers. It's going well. What are you working on today?
What am I working on?
Are you still writing that sequel?
I'm editing it.
Oh, you finished it, right?
Yeah, I finished it. I'm editing the sequel to Summer's End. It's called Autumn...
Oh, look at you, skeevy. Sorry. It's like finished. Anyway.
I finished the first draft. I'm editing the sequel to Summer's End. It's called Autumn Seas. And I sent my MCs to Sardinia, which I'm discovering is not as much like Italy like I thought it was.
No.
I was like, hey, cool, it's kind of Italian, but it's kind of not. It technically belongs to Italy. But
it's not.
Same but Sicily, it's actually kind of their own, like, they have their own culture, they have their own, like, ethnic backgrounds that are different from Italians, actually.
Your laptop is so loud.
They have their own languages. They do speak a lot of Italian. They've got a lot of Italian influence. They're just not the same as... So the research has been fun.
Yeah, I did the same thing, but for Sicily, because Sicily's the same way.
Right.
But not the same as Sardinia.
It's
part of Italy, but they have their own, like, culture, languages.
That being said, they are somewhat multicultural, so a lot of my characters I have some that are Italian, I have some that are just, like, they're from England or whatever, and I have one dude that's French, which is kind of fun because...
Oh, that is fun.
I don't have to research the language quite so much.
So much.
Because I already know how to speak French.
Let me tell you.
His name is Teo, which makes...
Speaking of the stupid things we Google, I don't want to tell you how many times I Google things in French. I know.
I do sometimes Google things in French. I'm like, I feel like I know what this means because I am bilingual technically, but then I look it up just to make sure.
No, I have the Vacharel website favorited now because I've used it so much, even though I know how to conjugate verbs in French. I just keep going like, is it really this? And it is that.
That being said, like, English is my first language, obviously, but I Google things in English
to
make sure the words mean what I think they mean before I use them. And sometimes I'm surprised because they don't mean what I think they mean. I'm like, wow, you've been using that wrong. So
if any of you play Wordle, the Wordle one of the ones last week was canny. I was like, canny's not a word, but I looked up. I was like, is it the opposite of uncanny? It is not. Yeah, but they're not. It's opposites.
Not even the opposite.
No, they have nothing to do with
That's why English is
very annoying. I looked at. I was so mad. I also looked up the difference between gold and golden twice in 1 week. So that was kind of stupid. I was like, am I using this right? I was.
I feel like I've looked up that before too, but I think it was the word guilted. Guilt. Not guilt like you're guilty. Guilted like stuff that's gold covered.
Gilded?
Which is different. No, guilt.
Oh, it's gilted.
Gilt. I'm pretty sure it's what it is.
Oh, I thought it was gilded.
Which is different from gold and golden. Golden is the color. Gold is actually made of gold. Yeah. Whereas gilted is covered in gold flecks or whatever.
Foil, yeah.
Which is 3 different things in my brain. So
I thought it was gilted. I thought it was with a T. So I would have looked that up.
No, it is gilted with a T.
She's going to look it up right now.
Because
she probably knows.
On the clock.
Sure, why not? 5.5, it's fine.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, us writers, we think
actually,
we're real smart,
guilt might be like GILT might be like an old way of writing it.
Because I thought it was gilbert.
Covered with thinly gold leaf.
Is there one with a D?
Covered thinly with a gold leaf. But it might be like you can go either way with the D or the T. Yeah, it's either way.
Oh, it is. So I
feel like with a T might be like either an older way to do it or it's the other way around. I don't know.
Oh no, what are the other?
One or the other.
Cool.
The point is, it's different from gold and golden, but it all has to do with gold things.
I haven't used that
yet. The things you learn when you Google random stuff for the stories you write.
I'm still mad about candy and uncanny.
I also Google sometimes just like random like details that I didn't realize that I would have to Google. Like one time I Googled whether a like 3/4 length sleeve jacket is a thing, like a blazer is a thing for men, because I envisioned it on Alex, my character from Finding Grace, and I was like, this seems like something you'd wear. Does that exist, or is that just a woman's thing? But no, they exist for men, and they look really hot too.
Yeah, because of the forearms.
Yeah,
unlike my forearms.
Exactly.
They're not really.
There's nothing wrong with your arms. Your elbows are a bit pointy, but so are everybody's,
I know,
right?
no.
But everybody has pointy elbows. Like,
no, not everybody has
pointy elbows. Who doesn't have pointy elbows?
Mine
are point on your body. Like
mine are like razors.
Little knives.
I'm gonna cut that part out. Little knives. And now my daughter's made out of elbows everywhere. She has elbows everywhere. Mm-hmm.
Elbows and knees, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I Googled this because I was sending him to a party. I did that for one sentence.
Oh, right.
That's the thing. I was like, I'm not sure what he's wearing because he's differently dressed than usual.
Describe what he's wearing.
Describe what he's wearing because he's dressed differently than usual because he dressed for a party. And I was like, he'd probably wear something like this to look cool at this party. And then I was like, does that even exist? Turns out it does.
This is why we're writers, because we're bad at speaking. I look up clothes all the time. All the time, because I don't know what clothes look like and how to describe them. I don't know what they look like. Literally, I don't know how. I don't know what people wear.
The thing is, sometimes when I read them in other authors' books, they'll describe what material they're made out of. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I still can't picture this because I don't know what that material is.
I don't know, but I
research.
Our sister-in-law makes clothes, and I ask her all the time, I'm like, what is this? I'll show her a picture and be like, what is this fabric? What do you call this hemline? What is it? She always knows.
It's the same thing with hairstyles. I looked up hairstyles once, men's hairstyles and women's hairstyles, because I don't know what any of them are called. I just know down, pony, half pony. I don't know this stuff. So, I was trying
down, pony, half pony. A braid.
Oh, braid. There's that too. Whatever. It's like a pony.
She's what is a braid?
No,
I'm just kidding.
I was trying to describe Zeke's hair, but Zeke has
remember,
longer on the top, shorter on the sides, and it wasn't quite a mohawk. Because mohawks are very. I don't remember.
That doesn't sound like
what I ended up calling it, but I had an image of it in my head, and so I looked through a bunch of Google images trying to find somebody with that hair, and then see what it was called. I think a quiff. It was something like that. Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah, that's a fun thing. I also spent a long time deciding how tall Grace's heels were, so that she wouldn't be taller than Alex in them, because she was a little on the tall side. It was for one sentence. It's always for one sentence.
How much straight away? We all know.
For one 190
sentence. Pounds.
Apparently, it's such an important
just chosen 200. I don't know why I had to get so specific about how much this kid weighs. It's 190.
190 sounds better than 200.
It was so specific because it was in Meg's point of view, and she would know for some reason.
Why would she know how much he weighs?
She's obsessed with me. Come on, let's be honest.
Okay. I love it. Well, yeah.
We got a minute and a half. I'm pointing to the time. She's pointing to the time.
We got a minute and a half left of our video.
So yeah, anyway, we got new books coming out, new spoilers, and all kinds of stuff. So,
Sign up.
Sign up.
Sign up for our newsletters. If you want to know who we're even talking about, you should read our book.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, we're just referring to characters' names.
Like they're real people.
They're real people.
That's what I'm talking about.
If you don't know, if you read the books, you don't know who the heck we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's the other thing I Google all the time, too. Just baby names. Baby names from whatever year my characters were born.
Mm-hmm.
Just to, see what the baby names are. I recently looked up names from, the country they were, part of. And, they got different names in different countries, so that
the other day, I looked up names for, the parents of...
Pausing it.
Oh, she's pausing the time. For, the parents of the characters. And I was like, but all these names are names of girls I went to school with. Mm-hmm. I'm not old enough yet to be the mother of any of my characters, but I'm getting there. It's a little bit scary.
Almost.
And I'm like, really? These don't feel like old enough names.
But. That is when I was trying to name Kevin's parents. His mom is turns 40 in the story.
Yeah.
Kevin's mother turns 40 in the story.
Yeah.
And I was looking up for names for his parents, And then I was like, hang on, what year were they born? And realized they're 80s babies. Because they're only a few years older than me. And I was like, well, hang on a second. I am closer in age with their parents than I am with my characters.
Yeah.
And it made me feel ancient, I gotta say.
So old.
I'm not even that old. It's kind of annoying.
I think the youngest parents in my Less Than Perfect story are 38. And I'm like, oh, that's really not far off from me.
Yeah.
You don't look it, at least.
That's what I'm saying about Kevin's mom, because, like, she's the youngest parent I've written. Like, his mom is turning 40. Like, Everly's parents are pretty young, too. Like, her dad's, like, 45. Her stepmother's, like, 40-ish, something like that.
But Kevin is, like, what, 20-something?
He's 23. He's
23,
he turns 23 in the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's just a young mom. But anyway, I was, like, trying to find a name for her, and I was like, these are all names of people that I would have gone to school with. Mm-hmm. Like, what? Even? And why is she so close in age with me?
I know, we're getting old.
Like, hello, Kevin, you're my character and I love you, but also your mom's the same age as me, which is kind of nuts.
So I mean, about young people. Like, I relate to the young people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we're young at heart. And old souls. I love how those two go together. Apparently those are both compliments, but I guess if you're old at heart, it's not.
Old...
It's a compliment to be young at heart, but an old soul. But then it's like,
weird.
Are we old or are we young? What do we want to be? An old soul with a young at heart? Like, how is that even? I'm just saying.
That is weird. I like that. So we got 38 seconds left.
Oh, should I restart the timer?
No, you really don't have to.
I just didn't want to go down in the middle of our story.
Yeah. That's what we said we would do. Anyway, when's your book coming out?
September. I got that one, and I'm working on a Christmas story for my Star Creek Christmas collection. I decided to call them a collection because this one happened 7 years before the first one, so it can't be a sequel.
No.
So it's not like I can really number them. They don't actually even need to be read. They're standalone stories in the same world, so I'm calling them a collection. A collection. Unless there's another word for that.
There is.
They're standalone stories in the same world.
I think that's still a series, though, even if it's not sequential.
Sure. Let's call it a series then. This one's about a doctor and a photojournalist.
Oh, that's fun.
It's fun. It also happens in, like, 12 days before Christmas. Oh,
nice. I like that, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you start to write a Christmas story and you want everything to happen, basically, between, like a month. And you're like, that's pretty short for, like, timeline-wise for a story. I know. The one Christmas one I'm working on, I think it starts maybe in October or something. It goes up to Christmas. I'm like, that's not very much time for two people to fall in love. Because you know they're going to fall in love. That's not a spoiler.
It's a romance. Romance.
That's not a spoiler. No, don't ask.
It's not a spoiler that people with romances fall in love. Like, that's not a spoiler.
We write romance, pretty much.
That's like, that is the issue that I had with To Save a Life, because I wanted it to be a Christmas story, but it technically started in August.
But they knew each other already.
But it technically started in August, because she had this idea that she needed to, like, plan, and I wanted to put the planning in it, so I couldn't just start it in, like, October or November, because that's not enough time to plan things. But yeah, they did know each other already, and that was the same with...
Yeah, I'm talking about the love story.
My other Christmas story that I have, Christmas Canvas, like, they also knew each other. Like, it started in November. Like, that was a really quick, like... It was like 6 weeks or something, the whole story. But they knew each other. That was like a second chance, whatever.
Mind you, somebody commented on one of my books, said the love story was a little bit too, like, they fell in love a little bit too quickly and stuff. Our parents got engaged 2 weeks after meeting. I don't even think they were dating.
Those were my 12 days before Christmas theory, I'm just saying.
Well, I'm just saying that, you know, sometimes
it can happen.
The truth is stranger than fiction. Not that Mom and Dad are strange. I didn't mean it that way. Don't misconstrue my words.
And they've been married for like 41 years.
41 or 42?
41. A long time.
41 years?
41 years. So, there you go.
Married in 81?
Yeah.
Yeah. 41 years.
So
2 weeks after meeting. I just want to clarify. 2 weeks. Anyway.
And not just that, but our dad literally immigrated to this country to get married to our mom. So
he was like visiting. This sounds so convoluted. When he was already visiting, he was visiting with this church.
Yeah, came on a visit, found a girl, and was all like, "I'm getting married," and then moved here just to marry her.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's
it's actually a pretty cool story. It can happen.
It can happen.
So, yeah, which is why I'm sticking to my 12 days for this one. Because they haven't met. They just met each other, and the story happens over 12 days.
But do your characters typically get engaged at the end of your books?
A lot of them do.
Oh. Mine usually don't end with an engagement. I say they don't usually, but
though, so that's a little more realistic.
I have a whole, all the Nathan.
Oh, the other ones, right, okay, sorry. I'm sorry, I was thinking of your YAs, though.
But as they get, as the series moves on, you see that they, stay together. And
not all of them do. It depends, though. Like, Grace and Alex, they took 2 books for that. And then... Because he wrote 3 books in that series.
2 whole books to get engaged.
They were just together for 3 years. As opposed to Beau and Kate, they only knew each other for a summer. And
that's the thing about writing stories is that it feels more realistic to get engaged a few years after you're already together. But nobody wants to read a book where it takes years of them being in love to get engaged.
Some people write that. It's just not what we write, really. It's not what I write.
They don't usually write. Well, maybe an epilogue or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well... I don't know.
One of my couples starts the story married, so...
I think it depends... Oh, there you go. I think it also just depends on how the story is going, if it fits the characters. For Grace and Alex, they had a lot of issues, and it just didn't seem like it would be right. It felt better that they were together a little bit, which is why I wrote them a sequel in the first place. Mm. Whereas Beau and Kate, it was just, it had to be. That was just the way it was meant to be. And when I read... So initially, I didn't have that, though, in the first draft, and then I read the whole story to Joel, and he was like... I would have been happy if there was even more than that. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I don't know if they got married or something. And he's not even a romance reader. And I was like, all right, so...
You say that, but you know he is. And you know that
he likes romances. He doesn't read romances. He enjoys romance stories. He will not read them for himself.
He didn't think that. People would think that's weird.
I don't know. He also secretly likes chick flicks, but that's because he's just watching it and he doesn't have to go through the trouble of reading the book.
He just
This is why I read the books to him, and then he enjoys the stories. He likes the stories. He just doesn't like...
My husband doesn't like reading fiction because he's Natasja and he can't imagine anything that's happening, but he likes the story. I tell him about my characters, and he's like, oh, who does that one end up with? So definitely he doesn't like romance either.
This is how I get him to know the stories. I'm like, I'll read it to you, and then I read it to him, and then he's like, yeah, he enjoys it that way. Yeah, Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's okay. I just tell Eli about my characters because there's so many of them. Mm-hmm. But only on long drives when there's nothing else to do. You're trapped, you're a captive audience now.
I tell Joel about my stuff because he just has really good ideas. He does not like reading about hearts, though. He's got a thing against hearts. And
when hearts ever have,
when hearts are, being their own thing, he's like, what is up with that? Beating.
Everybody's got a heart condition. Once you get that checked out.
But at one point, there was something to do with Beau's heart, and he was like, why did you put that in there? I'm like, what are you talking about? His heart is reacting to stuff. What is your problem?
Because that's the way we're taught you have to write a romance novel.
I like it, though. Hearts are they got, minds of their own. So anyway, what I was saying, initially I didn't have that, and then he was like, I would have been happy with more, so I went ahead and got them engaged, and there you go. And then I wrote them a sequel for that purpose. Yes. So, but yeah, a lot of them do. For this one that I'm writing now, that only happens in 12 days, I'm not sure. It depends on...
I was going to ask about your sequel. Is that what
I'm not done writing it yet. What?
The sequel, is that one going to end up with
for Everly and Kevin?
Yeah, is that one going to end up with an engagement?
I won't give all the spoilers away.
They're already together.
Probably. I feel like
stay in Sardinia forever?
I feel like that's the way they're going. No. They might go back for
What if they just break up?
I don't like endings like that. Why would I do that to anybody else? Okay. I got 38 seconds on the timer that I paused.
Still.
And we're at about 19 minutes here on the clock. So.
Oh my goodness.
But I don't know. This has been fun.
This is like us on the treadmill. We're like, how many minutes are we going for? Well, that's fun.
Wait, you didn't tell... I said what I was working on. What is your next thing? You're still getting the... You got more of the Less Than Perfect stuff going on?
I have a second arc coming. By that I mean they're going into the second school year, so... I think I put this in my last video.
Just have it be your never-ending music series.
Well, that's the thing is that I have plans for stuff that's going to happen later in the series. Anyway, I'm writing... It's the second school year, and I'm finishing up the... second last. Finishing up number 10 right now. I'm planning for 12.
Right. planning for 12.
12 is going to be another series, or another book of short stories.
That's a nice round number for
like
a
my
series,
lesson.
for a YA series. I like that.
Yeah.
I would read that.
I have some plans for future books for that series, but I don't want to say too much about that. They have a bunch of
You don't want to say too much, but you asked me if my characters are getting engaged.
I do want to. They had, there's, so I don't want to give away too
okay.
much, but like they had like the characters in the series have a bunch of like younger siblings, and they're all around the same age. So I thought it'd be fun if they continued the less than perfect legacy.
No, that sounds good.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah, it would be fun. I have lots of ideas for that. So I always have lots of ideas though, so it's just a case of actually writing down the ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, I don't mind telling you whether my character's getting engaged or not. Like, I don't feel like that's a spoiler. It's a romance. It's not a spoiler that they end up together.
It's
like
about what happens.
It's about how they end up together and
Yeah.
other stuff that happens along the way. Also, they're not strictly romance. Like, there's a lot of like coming of age stuff in there, and I read a lot of drama.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I'm also working on some more short stories in my Anipian Chronicles series. A whole bunch of short stories. Some of them are already published and you can find them. Some of them are not finished because I'm not finished writing them. So.
Sounds good though.
Yeah,
a lot of
it's
stuff
fun.
on the go.
That's it? A lot of stuff,
A lot
yeah.
of stuff on the go.
Yeah, no kidding.
I just got 2 things. I also had a new idea. Just percolating.
Percolating.
It's actually not that
I
new.
like that
I've had it for a
expression,
while. I just
percolating.
haven't like
That's such a good
really done
expression.
anything for it yet.
Mm.
But it's gonna be like 4 new things. I'm thinking like maybe like novellas, but I'm not sure. Because the last time I tried to write a novella, it ended up being a full-length novel, so I don't know if I can actually pull that off. I feel like it's easier to novel than it is to novella. Apparently I'm too long-winded. As we can tell by this 22-minute video that was supposed to be 10 minutes. we don't know how to shorten things, apparently, but that's okay.
If we'd had a plan, we might have been able to, but we didn't have a plan.
The plan was to get together and talk about stuff we Googled. Sort of, not really. The plan was to stick to the 10-minute timer, which we didn't do.
We said we would pause it.
I did.
Tell stories.
And we told stories. We can't help it. We're storytellers.
Right, that's what I said.
There you go.
All right, well, we can say goodbye.
Okay.
Here's our links.
Sign up.
Yeah.
Find us on whatever. Follow us.
I'm trying to do this.
Starting
as if there's a link on the screen.
I'm assuming our countdown.
Oh, we got 30 seconds to say bye-bye.
We got 33 seconds
Oh, no.
to say goodbye and remind you that you should buy our books.
Yeah, buy our books.
And then review them,
Read them on Kindle Unlimited. Review our books. If you read our books, review them so that we know if you hate them or like them. I'd rather know than not know, like, if you didn't like something about my book.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Bye! It's like we're expecting them to say goodbye. Thank you, bye.